Good evening, citizens of the world. This certainly has been an exciting week of networking, reunions, making new friends. We celebrated the 50th anniversary of Rotary and 30 years of Women in Rotary, where I'm proud to have opened some new doors. You've learned more about the workings of the United Nations, become more fully aware of the challenges other countries face, and how you can actually be an important factor in constructing your own future, starting right now with the guidance of the Sustaining Development Goals. And I have learned more about you and your generation. But first and foremost, I would like to thank the Italian Diplomatic Academy organizers, as well as Maxton Scotland, for giving me the opportunity to join you and participate in this very meaningful and wonderful conference. And speaking of Maxton Scotland, what a perfect example of essentials of good leadership. The topic I happen to have spoken about on Thursday. We didn't plan it, but I noticed that he's an example of it. Maxton had a vision and activated it by joining with a supportive group of similar minds, taking on the responsibility of coordinating the effective team he had, and most important, persevering regardless of unexpected challenges that occurred along the way. And believe me, I was behind the scenes. There were plenty of them. Now, if a comparatively small team could bring this exciting and meaningful event to fruition, just imagine what your entire global generation could do. I had the opportunity to speak with quite a few of you during the last few days, and you shared your individual dreams with me. I noticed something quite beautiful and very potentially powerful. No matter what country you come from, what culture you have, what religion you practice, you all have the same dream: to activate the strategies needed to make our communities safer and to live together in peace and harmony. You have recognized that the meaning in our lives grows as we learn to recognize and take on more responsibility for one another and the world in general. Most of you were very clear about the topic you want to focus on. A few of you told me that you want education to be at the forefront so that young people around the world can learn about their rights and freedoms, have equal opportunities for well-paying jobs and economic survival, negating the draw of theft, violence, and terrorist recruitment. I met one young man and a young woman who are passionate about global health and are already in studies on research, focusing on disease prevention. They're aware of the new threats of dangerous disease pandemics that are predicted to become more of a reality, cause widespread death and destruction, stress commerce and national economies, and cause global mayhem. Now that is very scary to all of us, but they're doing something about it. They both felt that we need to build better lab systems, quicker methods of response to a health crisis, have earlier detection methods, as well as more effective means of immunization, and they're already involved in it. Quite a few of you are concerned about the environment and feel that we cannot depend only on governments for support anymore. Fortunately, the new Sustaining Development Goals have included something new: civil society and corporate partnerships as two additions. We now have other options to save our planet, even if we put our global heads together and activate even small steps with our partners. Non-governmental organizations, the NGOs, have been playing a very important role, and the Italian Diplomatic Society is in support of this. They've influenced businesses to take more of a humanitarian responsibility in their practices. Those of you who are Rotaractors and Interactors are probably aware of the major role that Rotary International has played with their partners in eradicating over 99.5% of the polio cases worldwide. The completion of this goal will prove that teams of ordinary people who persevere can actually eradicate a worldwide disease. And the way we did it will be a guide to the rest of the world for other diseases. Many of you have already become involved by joining the Rotary World, where you are important partners in many of our global projects that are part of the SDGs. Not only has your engagement been very valuable, but this is one way you can help your own communities as well and feel a sense of empowerment. There was something else that stood out to me as well this week. I noticed that there were many more women involved than ever before. It seems that your generation is recognizing the importance of gender teamwork and mutual respect, putting former generations to shame. First, there was the he generation. I was brought up in that generation where women were allocated to inferior roles. Then along came the me generation, where individual entitlement was prevalent. Finally, thank goodness, there is now, thanks to you, a we generation.
Yes.
And it hasn't gone unnoticed. You heard the words of some very important dignitaries this week. Your generation has been recognized as a crucial element in the activation of the Sustaining Development Goals and is an important factor in shaping the future you want. You have the creative minds, the technology know-how, you care about each other and in social justice, but most important, you have the energy and the passion to really make it work. You've finally been given an invitation to the world stage, and I have been given more hope than ever, knowing that my children and my grandchildren will be in good hands. And as you all get on those planes and go back to your own countries, please remember the words of this poem that I composed for you and for people that ask, what is Rotary? Well, we are business, professional, and community leaders who are ready to serve and be involved without using guns, knives, or bombs to get the world's problems solved. We combat hunger, poverty, disease, and promote education, exchange students, and groom leaders for better global relations. We address natural disasters and send our volunteers. Clubs partner with clubs, both far and near. We save hundreds of lives every day, celebrating fellowship along the way. We're a volunteer army working in teams, giving people hope and activating dreams. I hate to say goodbye to all of you, and I hope we see each other again, but certainly keep in touch with each other.